Hey everybody, Mark Halperin here. Welcome to Next Up, our brand new show. We're just getting started and glad to have you be part of it. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, download, watch us. You can see us on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday. You can also listen to us wherever you get your finer podcasts. We want to grow big and fast, so please, if you haven't done those things, do it. Today, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I'm going to tell you what smart Democrats and some disaffected former Democrats tell me is the real explanation of why the party might be in big trouble. I'll also have a conversation with the Secretary of the Veterans Department, Doug Collins, the gentleman from Georgia. We'll talk about his pledge that he's made about making sure veterans are taken care of, even as DOJ tries to make the department more efficient. All of that, plus a look at Joe Biden here on this episode. Again, grateful to have you with us. So I'm going to start by telling you the honest truth that I've heard from conversations with people across the country, smart Democrats, some still Democrats, some disaffected Democrats, who say that the party has to address some really tough questions. I haven't heard anybody with a list like this. And it's a list that I put together, getting kind of the consensus view of a number of very smart people, some of whom have left the party, as I said, but some of whom really want the Democrats to be able to not just win the White House back, but to build the kind of a sustained coalition or kind of movement that Donald Trump has built to try to figure out how things have gone. The real problem that these Democrats see is not that the party is weak in every way. We'll talk about that. The real problem they see is the party has its head in the sand, enabled by the people in what I call the dominant media, who are not wanting to ask the hard questions because they're hard and they're embarrassing in some cases. They're difficult. Instead of doing that, they just have their masks and their shields on, their Trump derangement syndrome inside their blue bubble. And they're not even asking the right questions, let alone trying to figure out what the answers to those questions are. So again, these aren't my questions. These are the questions that really smart people who have been involved in Democratic politics at the highest levels, at the grassroots level, are saying the party has to face. It's a fact the Democratic Party has moved to the far left, farther left than it's been in our lifetimes. And that is a big part of the challenge the party faces, to figure out what does it mean now to be a Democrat and how they can compete with Donald Trump. Donald Trump's poll numbers are down, but the Democrats' numbers are not good either. The state of the Democratic Party is not good. As weak as Trump is, most of the things that have happened good for the Democrats, most of the things that they're anticipating in the spring, summer, and fall and into the midterm year are because they're expecting Donald Trump to mess up. That's not good enough for a lot of the Democrats I'm talking to. They say the problems are too big to count on Donald Trump and the Republicans messing up. There's the Democratic brand, which is extremely weak. If you look at all the polling that's been done, this is not fake news or Republican polls. As bad as Trump's numbers are now compared to how he started his presidency, the Democratic brand is not seen favorably. Democrats' performance and trust on a number of important issues is still not very good. Part of that, I think, is the Democrat lack ideas. You look at Bill Clinton and other Democrats who've been able to make a big splash nationally. They've had distinctive ideas that appeal to voters. The party really does not. You think about, where do they stand on the economy? Where do they stand on tariffs? Where do they stand on immigration, education? The lack of original ideas, Democrats say, is a big problem. Lack of leaders in Congress who really are breaking through with the wider electorate. Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, not seen as strong leaders. The presidential field, you're already seeing that vacuum of lack of leadership in Congress being filled by some people, like the governor of Kentucky, Governor Beshear, the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker. These folks are out there, but I continue to say, not to run these folks down as individuals, but it's a weak presidential field. It's an overrated field. And the energy in the party, where you see big crowds and a lot of attention, continues to be with people like Bernie Sanders, AOC, college protesters. There's clearly a need for the Democratic Party to have that enthusiasm. But most Democrats I talk to say that's not a majority. That's not enough. It's not even a majority within the Democratic Party, and it's certainly not a majority to win back the country. But again, these are maybe symptoms of the problem. What the Democrats I talked to this week have said, that the real problem is the failure to ask the right questions and to come up with answers. Now, some of these questions are backward looking in one sense about what happened in the 2024 election, but they're relevant today because the failure to grapple with the recent past shows some of the weaknesses the party has.